Hi, Tim. I'm Steven for Roqoo Depot.
Hi, nice to be here.
To start things off, Thrawn is on everyone's mind here with the new book and
Yes.
with his appearance in Star Wars Rebels. With this iteration of Thrawn that's slightly different from Legends, but now firmly in canon, what intrigues you most about him?
Well, first of all, I don't think he's different than he was in the original Legends books. Bear in mind, where he is in Rebels and where he is in the new book are a different era than he is in the Thrawn trilogy. There he is more or less the one in command of everything, Imperial. Right now, in Rebels and the book, he is working his way through the Imperial ranks. There is resistance. He's not in overall command. He's going to run into good officers, bad officers, ones who like him, ones who do not. The whole politics of the situation and different era of his life. So I think he's the same character. He's just his environment is all different at this point.
With the focus on Thrawn in this time period, in Star Wars Rebels in particular, we actually got to see him interact with Tarkin.
Yes.
Do you see those two as rivals?
I see Tarkin as someone who really likes to use assets, likes to not manipulate, but be in overall command. I see his opinion of Thrawn being, this is someone I can use. Thrawn's opinion of Tarkin will be, this is someone who is working more political aspects than strictly the military. So I don't know if they are rivals. I suspect it might have gotten to that without Tarkin's death at Yavin. But at this point in the history, I know Thrawn does not think much of super weapons. His feeling is more capital ships and starfighters are the way to go, rather than the huge things. There would have been a strategic disagreement between the two of them. And again, without Tarkin's death, it might have come to a rivalry.
One of the things I like most in this novel is Thrawn's not always right. Sometimes he does get it wrong. But it never shakes his self-confidence. Is that a trait that's always been there, or is that something you brought to the foreground in this novel?
No, it's always been there. He's always... Thrawn, if you give Thrawn 100% of the information he needs, he will almost always find a way to win. His downfall is always when there's something unanticipated that comes in. But he recognizes that, and he recognizes that in a situation like that, if I can't adjust to pull out a victory, retreat, pull back, regroup, pick another time and place. So yeah, he's never been perfect. He's always had small defeats, but he's always recognized that tomorrow's another day. We change tactics, change location, change approach, and try it again. So yes, in this era, there are a couple of places in the book where he thinks he has it all and is wrong, and there are a couple of places where politics gets in the way. But you saw that also in Rebels. The last episode, his last attack on Phoenix Squadron and Dodonna's ships, he comes close to a victory, but there are three factors, none of which are under his control, that allow the rebels, our heroes, to get away. So it's always, with imperfect information, you can trip him up.
What do you think about the news that Warwick Davis is going to be voicing Rook?
I watched the live feed from Celebration London last year, where Warwick was angling for a role in Rebels, and I wonder if this is slightly a joke of Filoni's. Okay, you want to be in Rebels? We got a perfect role for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of voice Warwick does with that, whether his own modified, deeper, That's going to be very interesting. But yeah, it's another nod to the books. I know people are worried already. That's a good thing. Have the readers or the viewers worried. But there are many ways to take Thrawn away from the classic trilogy, and I am hoping and assuming, but mostly hoping, that they come up with something they can do with him that doesn't involve killing him off. Because remember, the Rebels crew grew up with these books as well. They're not going to simply eliminate them if they don't have to. And again, there are many ways to do that. We'll just see what they come up with.
We all knew Thrawn was going to be a major part of this novel, but it was a big surprise that Governor Price was in this. Whose idea was it to include her?
Well, very, very early, the day they brought me to Lucasfilm and told me about Thrawn's appearance, we sat down with Michael Siglain, Jennifer Heddle, and let's see, who's the other one? It was Sarah Peed from Del Rey, who was out there to talk with Blizzard about my StarCraft book. We sat down and discussed a new book. And one of the things I wanted to do early on, just having seen this opening, the one clip they showed me, I wanted to, the logical thing as we chronicle Thrawn's rise to power is to chronicle Price's parallel rise to her position of governor. Because obviously she's rather young to be a governor, even of a single system. So I figured there's some story there. She and Thrawn are very different personalities, so their roads are going to be very different. And of course, he's rising in the military, she's rising in the political system. So it was early on we decided we wanted to do parallel stories. Again, the whole thing leading to where they walk onto the bridge of the Star Destroyer together. So how are they? What's their relationship? Are they allies? Are they uneasy allies? What is that? And that was part of the bring them along type of thing.
Another interesting facet of the book was each chapter opens with a journal entry from Thrawn.
Yes.
Was that idea there from the beginning, or was it added later on?
It was there in a form from the beginning. At one point I thought we'd have that only in the chapters where Thrawn's point of view picks up right away, and then we realized, no, let's have one for every chapter, something related to the chapter to come, some insight on tactics or the Chiss or something else. But I thought, yeah, this is a good way to open every chapter.
This question's a bit spoilery, but what was the idea behind having Thrawn chase the puzzle of the Death Star? Trying to put that together. That
was something Del Rey and Lucasfilm wanted me to do. The idea of this will help tie it into the overall storyline that's coming up between Rogue One and Rebels and Rogue One and of course the classic trilogy. That wasn't originally in my plans, but they thought this is a good way to build that into the story, give us a sense of time. I mean, we know it leads up to Rebels, but it's a sense of the overall history of the Empire.
If Thrawn were to analyze Chiss artwork, what would he see as their weaknesses and strengths?
Well, really, that's classified information. I'm not allowed to tell you that. I don't know. I have not dealt with the Chiss nearly as much as the online game and various other things have done. They've always been, in my writing, a bit more mysterious. We had the best look we had at them was in Outbound Flight. But again, even that was focused on Thrawn and a couple of others. I didn't do a definitive, this is just society type thing. It wasn't relevant to the story I wanted to tell. There is probably some arrogance. There's probably more infighting among the various families than Thrawn would find efficient. But overall, I think they have a sense of what needs to be done, of what the dangers are out there that are facing their people, And I think no matter what the infighting might be or the rivalries, if you poke the bear with a stick, you would find out very quickly that was a very unwise thing to do.
All right, last question. With the new movies, Rogue One and Force Awakens, who's your favorite new character?
Oh, favorite new character. Well, nobody lives through Rogue One. Spoilers. I don't know. I don't have a favorite like I do in the classic trilogy or the prequels. I will need probably. I mean, all of Rogue One, they were all not good people, for the most part, who have to come together for the common good. Obviously, the droid is a favorite of everybody, but then that a lot of that's Alan Tudyk. Yeah, I don't have any character in the sequels yet. I'm still waiting to see what happens in the next 2 episodes to figure out a favorite character.
All right, well, thank you for taking the time.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for having me on.